I'm Luna Ora, sex priestess, psychedelic witch, here to awaken your soul, seduce your mind, and crack open the ancient memory pulsing in your body of magic, truth, and sacred rebellion. Welcome to the Psychedelic Witch, where every word is a spell, truth is the wildest medicine, and magic is your birthright. Enter if you're ready to remember. Hello, beautiful souls. How are you? This is Luna Ora. I am the Psychedelic Witch and Sex Priestess. And today I am going to share with you something that goes far beyond politics, far beyond what you see on the news. War extends far beyond land disputes or power games. It is a spiritual warfare. And when conflicts occur in specific locations during particular portals of time, such as a solstice, for example, they serve as a gateway. These are turning points, opening moments when light codes and divine consciousness stream into the earth and amplifying all energy. So again, my name is Luna Ora, and today we are going to talk about war and blood magic, spiritual warfare, and the fall of the sacred feminine. Now, I have done a video about war and what it did to the divine masculine and what it has been doing to men in our culture. So I'm going to link it down below if you're interested in that as well, because I really do believe we need to have more conversations like these on healing the divine masculine as well, because I see it as our responsibility as divine conscious aware women. It's not that we are the ones who are healing them directly, but we are in a not a direct way. So I want to give a shout out to Gigi Young. She has a YouTube channel. If you don't know her, I highly recommend you listen to her. Unfortunately, I don't have time to listen to all of her videos, but I years ago, I remember I listened to a few of them. I really appreciate her. I do not listen to a lot of spiritual teachers and speakers because honestly, I don't, there's so much bullshit out there. I cannot even take it. And most of these people I can't even listen to. So, you know me, I'm not going to fluff it up. But I do really honor Gigi Young and I really honor Teal Swan. These are the two main women that I would listen to. So she did a video called The Occulted, War, Israel, Earth Magic, Trump, Antichrist, and the Third Temple. I'm going to link it down below as well. The reason I wanted to do this video is also inspired by her video. And being someone who was born and raised in Israel, I really appreciated what she said in that video. I really resonated with it also as a witch, a good witch and a priestess and someone who is here to teach people on the truth of magic that we are literally all living under a dark spell and we don't even know it. So this is one of my missions, to awaken people. And we can only awaken if we actually know and understand magic and understand the dark spells that we are under so that we can liberate ourselves from them and live and consciously choose the light. So, when dark forces, disguised as political figures, orchestrate attacks during these sacred portals, like I've mentioned before, they perform ritual acts, dark magic designed to hijack the light and fragment humanity's timeline. Now, these occur beyond what we see in news and social media. Okay, the real war is not fought over land and power, but over your consciousness. All right. And again, this is someone who is Israeli and I was born and raised in a fucking war. Okay. So I'm sorry, all you pro-Palestinian people, this is not a political talk, but I'm also not going to put up with shit and lies and manipulation that has been spread out there, because people who haven't been lived through actual war and through hatred and haven't living in a place where people constantly want to kill and rape and destroy them, you do not have a say in it. Okay. So I'm not fluffing things up. I'm going to say things as they are. They are not pleasant. And again, this is not political. I want you to understand the dark magic and the spells that are casted on human beings behind the scenes of all these wars that we see on social media and the news and all that shit. We have to understand the real reason why the dark forces are creating these wars and are using all of us as pawns in their sick games, okay? So, again, the real war is not fought over land. It is over your consciousness. It is over the human power. It seeks to distract you from remembering who you truly are and your genuine power, especially your ability to connect with each other and source and to love one another. It aims to cast a spell of fear to numb us and make us forget our true nature. But some of us, light warriors, witches, priestesses, keepers of truth, are born for this time. We remain awake while others slumber, reminding everyone of their true power and showing them how to break free from the curse. And this is why I'm doing this work. I am speaking to all of the light workers, the true ones who are here to actually break the spells and break the curses, the generational curses, who are here to set all of us free. And all of us who are not putting up with lies, manipulation, and black magic, and all of us who are not easily manipulated by the black magic, because you can see very clearly, I mean, we've seen it after the, I'm not going to say that word, after the, what's the word I can use here so I'm not going to get banned again. After the jabs situation or, that shenanigans, we saw it after October 7th. We see it all the time. Masses and masses, I call them zombies, of very easily manipulated people. They can be brainwashed in a second, and they are used as pawns and as tools to enhance the black magic and the curses and all of these propaganda. So again, by the way, subscribe, share, like, do all the things. It really helps me. Donate. Buy my books. There's so many books. Check out. There's many free YouTube videos. I speak about a lot of topics. I got banned many times. So everything you do really helps me and supports me. And I haven't been asking for help in the past, but I am asking for support right now because this message really needs to go out there. And especially the message of this actual real sacred union and sacred sexuality, which we need more sacred unions in the world in order to help us elevate and evolve. And this is why my first book is called Sex Magic Evolution: How to Heal and Use Sex Magic to Heal the World. So, in the old world, blood was power. Sacrifice was worship. From ancient temples to modern slaughterhouses, the collective unconscious still drinks from the same poisoned well. The belief that life must be taken for life to be given, that's a blood sacrifice. But the truth is, Christ was the last sacrificial lamb. And I'm not specifically talking about Jesus as a person, as a human being. Let's talk about Christ as a consciousness. Whether you believe in Jesus or not, it doesn't matter. His crucifixion, which is a symbolic act, was never meant to glorify suffering. It was a cosmic declaration. No more blood needs to be spilled for love to be real, for spirit to be accessed, for God to be pleased. No God wants a blood sacrifice. Only the devil, only a demonic entity. That moment marked the end of an era of blood sacrifice. If only we had truly listened. But of course we did not. We have taken that symbolic act and that ritual, the Christ story, and turned it into something even worse. And yet, we still consume death. We still ingest suffering by eating animals. When we eat animals, we ingest the trauma, fear, and violence encoded in their cells of the animals, and that becomes a part of our own body temple. This is black magic in disguise, a spell of domination, separation, and unconscious participation in a dying paradigm. And this is all going to be connected to the war and blood magic. Because you have to understand what blood magic is first in order to understand what war is doing to us and what is the curse of war. But we're here to break the spell, my brothers and sisters. Now, veganism, which I really don't like the word vegan at all, but this is the word we use just for the sake of conversation. This is not a diet. It is a spiritual rebellion, a return to Eden. It is the remembering that our power as divine beings come not from domination, but from devotion, from harmony with the earth, not control over her. Now, let me tell you what war really is. War is not just politics. Politics is a tiny little part of a war. It's actually the least important part because it's all a show on the outside. It is not just power games. War is a ritual. It is a blood-soaked ritual that feeds dark forces with chaos, trauma, and the energy of fear. This is why after October 7, I've done a few videos. Some of them were taken out of YouTube. They were deleted. About the fact that October 7 was a blood sacrifice. It needed to happen in the month of October on the land of Israel, specifically in that place. And of course, it happened not only in the village of Be'eri, but it also happened in a psytrance festival, in a music festival, where young people were in their highest frequency of love and devotion and unity. Notice what happened on October 7. The most brutal, evil, demonic ways of murdering and raping and destroying families, babies, women, children, girls, boys, all of them. It was a blood sacrifice. And I'm not going to stop saying that because it's the truth. And I'm not going to stop speaking the truth. Now, every bomb, every gunshot, every scream, it's an incantation in the language of blood. These are not random acts of violence. They are ancient forms of blood magic designed by specific forces to open portals to darker realms, lower realms, siphoning energy from the souls that suffer and die on a sacred land. And again, I'm going to go back to the October 7 example because that was the worst. There is a reason why these mercenaries, we would call them, they were paid, they were drugged, and they were, they were really being raised their entire life to hate and to get to that point of like hating so much that they had to destroy these people in such a way, and even babies and family, like I said, because in every black magic ritual for demonic entities need not just the blood, but they need the suffering, the energy. They harness the energy of the suffering and the fear, especially the fear from the victims. So with every black magic ritual, even those where you see in, you're not going to see them because they're behind very, very closed doors, of people in high places in this world, in every single country, probably almost every single country in our world, who are using children, especially for blood demonic rituals, because they need the fear. They're not just killing these children and raping them. They are harnessing by a magic ritual, harnessing the fear and the trauma of the child, because it creates something in the blood of the person, of the child, of the human, whether they're adult or children, that the demonic entities need to feed on. Okay, and I've spoken about it again in many videos before, even way before October 7, and I spoke a lot about pedophilia and things like that. So you can go ahead and listen to past videos. And again, we really in order to understand sacred union and the sacredness of sex and sexuality and the divinity of us, of humanity, we have to understand the purest darkness as well, so that we can again liberate ourselves from it. And I love that I have my friend's art, her picture she took of horses here, which really symbolizes they're the purest symbol of freedom. So these specific lands that, if you look at all the specific lands on this beautiful earth that have war in them, the worst bloodshed, and there's so many places right now with horrible bloodshed, like Ukraine and Yemen and Syria and many places that we don't talk about. Because again, the Cabal just want you to look at what they want you to look at. It's just a propaganda. But again, I'm not going to go into that realm right now. We're talking about black magic. So it's a strategy, okay? They're energetic portals. They're energetic places. Israel is one of the biggest energetic portal on this earth. And that's why they had to keep it in a lot of bloodshed for all these years, okay? And have these two groups of people really hating each other and wanting to kill each other because they needed to keep that energy of fear and trauma and bloodshed on that land to open the portals to lower dimensional frequencies and entities, okay? I know it sounds like a fucking, like a sci-fi movie, but this is real, unfortunately. So these places hold power. They sit atop portals, like I said, natural gateways between worlds, places where the veil is thin and the earth herself pulses with ancient wisdom and force, and they want to control that force and the wisdom. Dark forces know this. They need to control over these portals to manipulate the energetic grid of Earth. So they disguise their conquest as war, as like a political war, as liberation or justice or something like that, while secretly they're fueling blood rituals to feed their domination. The blood of animals was the old spell, okay? The oldest spell, really the oldest spell. Well, actually the oldest spell was the dark wizards actually began with raping and killing children. It started with children, and then it moved to animals, and then they started to program human beings that you have to eat animals, you have to be a part of this blood magic ritual, you have to eat animals to survive, and all the program and all the bullshit and all the lies. And so even if you're eating animals right now, I want you to keep an open mind and listen to this, because this will liberate you. Please, please listen to this. Even if you don't believe me, even if you think I'm crazy, listen to this. Let the seeds of truth be planted in you, even if it's not for today. It's for a few years from now. It's for a few months from now. Listen with your heart. Listen with your soul. Your soul knows the truth, okay? So the blood of humans became the modern offering. And war is their biggest ritual yet. It's chaos magic at a mass scale, all right? So I'll talk later more about chaos magic. Let me get a sip of water. In the meantime, take a breath, because I know this is a very intense topic. Now, war is not just destruction of land. It's the destruction of timelines. I want you to listen carefully. It pulls humanity backwards into survival mode, where fear, division, and primal instincts override higher consciousness. It is a spell. War is a spell cast from the demonic planes, a form of chaos magic designed to fracture timelines, like I said, open trauma loops, and keep humanity cycling through pain, revenge, and grief. The battlefield becomes a ritual circle. The innocent blood becomes the offering, and the grief of mothers, lovers, children is harvested as energy, okay? So it's not just the victim, it's the grief of everyone that's left behind that's harvested. It's all the pain. This is not human. This is engineered on the lower astral by forces that cannot create, only consume, because dark forces, like I said many times, they do not have creation power of their own. So they can only take and harness from the light. So they consume through chaos and through chaos magic. And war is one form, a very big form of chaos magic. Now, while we're busy fighting each other, right, on social media and with politics and all that, we forget who we are. We forget our mission. We forget that we are meant to evolve into divine beings, not obedient slaves. War locks us into the lower chakras: fight, flight, survival, scarcity. It fractures love, stunts emotional development, and shuts down intuition. It disconnects us from the divine feminine and masculine and keeps us spinning in cycles of pain. And every time the collective starts to rise, every time there's a ripple of awakening, a mass remembering, a new war, a new crisis, a new ritual begins. Notice what the dark forces are doing. But when we see it, it breaks the spell. And this is why all of you who are still listening right now, I honor you. The truth is not easy to hear, but those of us who are brave enough to listen to it are going to change the world. Now, I must share with you one of the most hidden truths in our spiritual history. The original temple did not belong to Solomon, and I wrote about it in my book, The Last Priestess. It's one of my shortest books, but it's one of my most powerful books. It tells a story of the fall of the last temple, the actual fall, and the lies, and how the dark forces and how the dark wizards started to create this reality by harnessing the power of the original priestesses in the original temple. The original temple belonged to the mother. It was a temple of the priestesses, a radiant sanctuary of light magic, sacred sexuality, healing, and creation. Women served there as keepers of divine power, the guardians of life, love, and cosmic order. And they also, by the way, because I was a priestess in that temple, as I mentioned in the book. If you want to know my real story, read the book. It's every time I speak about it, it's my body just gets, I need a moment. We also protected the timelines. So our temple was in a specific dimension. This is, by the way, the temple of Isis and Lilith, where I bring the information. I have been bringing information for 13 years now. This temple has been in a specific dimension where we have protected different timelines and different dimensions. So different dimensions could connect with ours, and everything that happened there, we could affect, we could help, we could heal. But then came Solomon. Again, as I write in the last Priestess book, you can read about it. Not as a wise king like religion is telling us, because religion was made by the dark wizards and dark forces with the codes of light. They had to take codes of light, because if they only had codes of darkness, it wouldn't hold, it wouldn't sustain. So the only reason that people have been following religion for so long is because it has power of light. And the dark wizards had to, again, harness the power of light. The darkness has to take from the light because it doesn't have power of its own. So came Solomon as a black wizard that he was. He entered the temple under the illusion of respect. He studied the sacred arts of the priestesses, not to honor them, but to steal their magic. And once he had enough power, he killed them all. One by one, the women were silenced. Their sacred blood spilled to anchor a portal, a dark, inverted gateway. This is inversion magic, by the way. This is chaos magic that twisted light into control. This was the beginning of the Black River, a current of shadow magic that still infects our world today. We are still under that same freaking energy. And by the way, a few days after October 7 happened, I did a video, and you can watch it today. You can see that I was not myself in that video, because I was not. I was in such pain that I didn't think it was humanly possible to feel that pain. That video is called I forgot. I'm gonna post it down below. But it was The One Truth. That video is called The One Truth, and is a few days. So listen to this. I published that book, The Last Priestess, telling the story of Solomon and the temple and the fall of the temple with these, and how he murdered all the priestesses in cold blood. And days after October 7, days after I published that book, and I went into the bodies of a few sisters and women and girls I was in their bodies as they're being raped and murdered by the Hamas in October 7. I went through everything with them. So you can imagine what pure darkness I was in. And it was the same fucking demonic energy. It was the same demonic entities that created the fall of the temple, that created October 7. I will put my life on this. And I don't really know how to explain this, because there are no words to explain it. Some of you are going to feel what I'm saying right now, and it's going to you're going to feel it in your bones, even if it's not logical what I'm saying right now. Some of you are going to understand it in the future, but we are dealing with the same fucking demonic demons, forces that we have dealt for I don't know how long. Trust me, it's a very lonely path to see demonic entities and to see all of these dimensions the way I've always been able to see my whole life. It's really lonely. It's really scary. And you feel like you're going crazy most of the time. But I'm not going to stop speaking the truth, because I know that even if it's not going to be accepted in this generation, it will be in the next 2 or 3 generations. And so I am leaving little crumbs of truth and planting seeds for this humanity that I still believe in. So with the priestesses gone from the original temple, Solomon and his men built his own temple on top of their bones. He used their power to create a low-frequency construct, a false matrix dressed in gold and law, man-made law, where the feminine was erased and blood sacrifice became holy. And we have made blood sacrifice, we have modernized it, we have normalized it, and it's an everyday thing right now. It breaks my heart. And I this is the reason that sometimes I just want to give up. I don't know how to make people listen and hear the truth. It breaks my heart. A true temple is not just a building. It is a mirror. It is a sacred architectural reflection of the human body, the soul, the divine order of life. The original temples, the temples of the priestesses, were built on this truth. They were not made for worship. They were made for remembrance. Every pillar mirrored the spine. Every chamber echoed the womb, the heart, the pineal gate. The structure itself was a cosmic map, the structure of the temple, a living representation of the soul in harmony with the earth and the stars. To walk through those temples was to walk deeper into yourself. This is what you should feel when you walk into a real temple, a real coded temple with light. They activate, align, and awaken you. Not like the temples we see now in Egypt. Like people go to I spoke about it before. People go to the Egypt pyramids. That's a false temple, guys. Do not go to the pyramids in Egypt. Like that is a very dangerous temples who were created by black magic and all these spiritual hippies who go there and, oh, I was awakened. No. It's a very, very dangerous energy to walk into, okay? I spoke about it in my video that I spoke about Aubrey Marcus. I made 2 videos about the shenanigans and bullshit of Aubrey Marcus. All right. But then came the fall. The dark wizards, threatened by the light, destroyed the original temples and built their own. The first and second temple, which we hear about it in the Jewish tradition, designed not from the divine geometry, but from stolen power and inverted blueprints. Okay. And you have to understand this, the Jewish people I'm Jewish, okay? So when you're Jewish, it's in your blood. It's not like being a Christian or a Muslim. Like you're born a Jewish. You're born a Jew. It's literally in our DNA. When you do a DNA test, it says Jewish, okay? Like how many percentage of Jewish you are. So I don't think many people know that. So the people who are born in their blood to be Jewish are the tribe of people we were created here originally to protect the codes of light, which are the codes of truth. Of course, we got lost in religion. We got lost in the dark magic. Now we don't know who the fuck we are, and we just follow blindly this religious thing. Being Jewish is not a religion. Being Jewish is a soul mission, and we fucking forgot it. And I really hope that my Jewish friends are listening because we need to remember who the fuck we are. And we need to remember that we are here to hold the codes of truth, the codes of light. Light equals truth. Okay? Light is not something fluffy and pretty that you do in a yoga class. Light is truth, and we must protect it with everything that we are. Now, these temples did not mirror the souls, these false temples. They mirror control. They mirror the fragmentation of the human spirit, not its wholeness. And so they fell, because anything built outside the true order of life cannot stand. All right? Each time they collapsed, humanity stood on the edge of awakening. Each fall was a chance to remember, to rise, to rebuild the temple within us, not another external temple, a false temple. But instead, we descended again. We fell deeper into the matrix, further from the body, further from the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So it is insanity what is happening in our world right now, let me tell you, my friends. So now, thousands of years later, okay, let me just fix this light here because it's very dark in this room. I hope you can see me well, okay? Oh gosh, this light is way too bright for me. I need to make it a little bit less. There we go. Too bright on my eyes. Okay. Now, thousands of years later, we are trying to rebuild that same portal, calling it the third temple. And I'm talking about what's happening in Israel now with the third temple, with the Jewish people. Again, we cannot build the third temple because that is a false temple. We need to go back to the original divine feminine temple, which is within us. First, it's the women connecting with their womb, building that inner temple within their womb. And then we invite the masculine to be the divine masculine that they are. Again, we invite the men. But again, I am very much aware that at this point it's a fantasy. And it's real, but it's a fantasy because human beings are not ready for that. And they're still very, very much ingrained in the false matrix lie of religion and politics and all of this shit, basically. All right. So sorry, I keep playing with these lights because I think you can't see me very well. All right. So now they say that the third temple must be rebuilt before the Messiah can come. But what kind of Messiah needs the blood of a baby cow to enter? Okay, those of you who know about the red heifer, we're going to talk about it. What kind of a God demands the life of an innocent, pure creature, 3-year-old baby cow, to be turned into ash for purification? This is not divine prophecy. This is blood magic by black wizards who are evil. And we need to wake the fuck up. All right. And I'm talking especially to you, my Jewish friends, because this is not sacred. Stop following man-made laws who were created by black wizards many, many years ago. You're still fucking following today. Remember who you are. The red heifer sacrifice is not a sacred offering. And to be clear, most of the people in Israel are very much against this. This is only like the very extremist religious people that are for this like sacrifice of the red heifer. Most of the Israeli people are very much against it, and a lot of them don't even care, and a lot of them don't even know about it, to be honest with you. So this is a ritual of domination engineered by the same dark forces that fed on the blood of lambs, goats, and humans in the old temples. And now they want to bring it back, modernized, glorified, and justified. And why do you think, by the way, that they've been trying to normalize pedophilia? Why do you think that they have been systematically programming our young boys and girls, right, in this? I don't know if I should even say the word on YouTube because I'm gonna be banned again. But this trans BS. All right. So the rabbit hole goes very, very deep into this. They are trying to manipulate and destroy and distort everything that is sacred about humans. And when you are destroying our bodies with what we consume, with the acts that we're doing, with the black magic rituals that we're doing, and with how we're using our sexuality in a distorted way, you're destroying humanity. You're destroying humans. So the red heifer is not just a rare cow. She is a symbol, ancient, powerful, and sacred. She represents the great mother in physical form. The cow itself is an animal that represents the divine mother, right? Like a feminine creature that we are sucking from her tit. We are sucking the milk from her tit. She's a very divine, motherly, feminine symbol. The cow is the giver of milk, the sustainer of life, the fertile embodiment of the earth herself. She is the sacred feminine, abundant, nurturing, tender, holy. And her age matters. 3 years old. So for this sacrifice specifically, they want a 3-year-old baby cow, red heifer. That's the age she must be before they kill her. And when you have these, when you see magic, when you see rituals like this, and there are specific rules and laws that have to be obeyed, that's black magic. You can be sure that it's a masculine way of black magic. A feminine way, a natural way of feminine sacred magic is to work with the earth and with life itself. And there's not really specific rules or laws to follow. You just do what feels, what you are, you follow what feels good in the moment. You follow the womb, you follow the heart, you listen to the trees and to the wind, and you create the magic as you go. So 3 is the number of the triple goddess, also maiden, mother, and crone. So they're killing the mother right at the moment of her blooming. Okay, look at the symbolism of this ritual, this blood magic ritual that again has to happen in Jerusalem on the Holy Land, because there is a black magic portal there, a very, very powerful portals on the land of Israel. Okay, so so let me explain something crucial about blood sacrifice that most people don't understand. Blood has always been the currency of dark spirits. Okay, not because blood is evil, but because blood is life force. And when it's spilled in fear, pain, or violation, it creates a vibrational opening, a tear in the veil between worlds. Now, dark entities are not creators, like I said many times. They cannot generate energy on their own. They feed, they attach themselves, they inhabit, and they seek the light the most. That's why, I did also a video about narcissists. And, narcissists are usually like real narcissists, they're going to really be attracted to light workers and light beings because they need the light. They need to suck on and so that's, I keep telling people, if you're a fluffy, beautiful fairy and light worker here, and you've attracted a narcissist, it's not your fault. Narcissists are, the moths are attracted to the flame. So it's just what it is. You learn your lesson, you move on. Okay. Trust me, I attracted some narcissistic people in my life for sure. So they attach, they inhabit. And what do they feed on? Mostly your fear, your life force, your suffering, your violence, your pain, and your blood. Okay. So ritual sacrifice, whether done in temples or battlefields or behind closed doors, has always been about feeding these beings, giving them access to our realm, anchoring them here through gateways created in blood-soaked soil. This is why sacrifice became sacred in distorted religions. It wasn't for God, it was for them. This is why when we see people in Gaza, they are born and raised in this hatred, in this bloodshed. They're literally having babies, saying out loud, this is not a secret. We all know this. They're literally having their babies in order to give them away. You see them like they have rituals where the mothers literally hold the babies up and giving them as a sacrifice to die as soon as they can hold a gun and knife. Here, I'm giving you my baby. So this is demonic forces. They think it's a religious thing. They're still in the program of religion, but it's very demonic, highly demonic. So we have to. I'm so passionate about this because I've lived through it and I know the truth, and it pains me that people don't see the truth. Most people who've lived through it, they know it, but unfortunately, most people are very easily manipulated. So in many ancient esoteric systems, it was believed that when you kill an animal, especially in a ritual context, you are not just taking its life. You are absorbing its essence, its life force, its spirit, its fear, its pain, and the frequency. So, but what truly happens? They merge with unprocessed trauma. They take on karma that isn't there. So when you're eating your steak, right? You are literally uniting. I write about it in Sex Magic Evolution. Eating is having sex because you are uniting with specific. If I hold this food thing in my hand, right? This is not food, but if I'm holding this and I'm eating it, it enters my body. It becomes one with my DNA, with my blood, with my body, and so I am literally uniting with it. This is a sexual union of and again sex. And I have to go back a little bit because when I say sexual union, a lot of people are going to hear it as sex is like a pornographic sex, like we're used to. Sex is life force. So when I'm taking this life force, I'm putting in my life force. These two life forces are having sex. They're uniting together. So you're taking on the karma that's not yours. You're taking on, again, the pain, the trauma, the suffering, and you become that. You become that low frequency of the pain and suffering and trauma. So you carry imprints of suffering in your energy body. And the illusion of power that you gain is just borrowed. It's temporary and it's binding, all right? The illusion of, it's an illusion of power. It's not real power. That's why you see all these men who are like, oh, I love meat. I eat meat, blah, 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 blah. Look at me, I'm a man. That's an illusion of very temporary power. It's not, they don't actually get real energy and life force from it. Let me get another sip of water, guys. I'm sorry, this is a longer video than I thought. Actually, I'm not sorry, but those of you who are still here, I salute you because this is not easy to listen to. I am very much aware of. So even those who once walked the path of dark magic, those who believed in sacrifice as a source of power, would find that today it simply doesn't work the same way anymore. We are no longer vibrating in the same planetary frequency. The Earth herself has shifted, all right? Every generation, the Earth shifts. We are not the same like we were like our ancestors. The grids have changed. The veil is thinning, not for blood, but for truth. In this frequency, when you spill the blood of an animal, you are not absorbing its essence. You are killing a reflection of yourself. You are cutting off your own connection to life. You are collapsing your own field and your highest timeline as well. So those who are literally eating animals cannot walk on their highest timeline. That's a big one too. Because sacrifice is a language of the old world, a world built on fear, control, and inversion. That door is closing, and those who still try to feed the dark with blood are only deepening their own emptiness. We are in the age of embodiment, of conscious union, of sacred presence, not of sacrifice. So wake the fuck up and let's evolve, all right? Now, let's take a breath, guys. Let's speak the unspeakable truth. All right. Animal sacrifice always leads to human sacrifice. And this is why we have war in our world. It begins with innocent calf, justified, ritualized, made sacred through prophecy. But once the people accept one life taken in the name of God, like the red heifer, the ritual, it becomes easier to take another and another until human blood becomes a part of the offering. And every Every religion, a lot of groups use blood, animal sacrifice today. They use children sacrifice, and hence we have, as above, so below. As the way we are treating other creatures is the way that that other forces are treating us. So again, another rabbit hole. I can speak about this for months, like with nonstop. This is not speculation. This is ancient pattern. This is how the Black River has always flowed. The red heifer is not the goal. She is the gateway. She opens the ritual path towards the next level of sacrifice. And those orchestrating this know exactly what they're doing. This is why so many politicians, even those who seem to have no spiritual life, right, are suddenly obsessed with rebuilding the third temple. It's not because they believe in God, it's because they serve power and they serve dark demonic forces. Now, let this be clear. This is not a political stand, I repeat. This is not about being pro-Israel or pro-Palestine. This is beyond nations, this is beyond religion, and this is beyond bloodlines. What I'm using what we have right now so you can understand what has been happening for a very long time. And we need to stop this bloodshed. We have to stop this bloodshed for all living beings. It's all connected, guys. Once people see that it is all connected, I mean, the human psyche, most people, especially the sheep and the zombies, are just not even there consciously. They won't even grasp what I'm saying right now. They won't even grasp it. They're probably not even listening to this channel. Some are going to be very resistant to what I'm saying. Some are going to have a light bulb moment listening to this. Some are going to oh, I knew this all along. Of course, you felt what I'm saying. It's not new to you. This is about the soul of humanity. Because if this, for example, this red heifer sacrifice happens, if this ancient black magic ritual is allowed to take place on the land of Israel, it will not just affect one people. It will affect all of us. It is not a local event. It is a planetary spell. October 7th affected the entire fucking world. If you haven't seen it, I don't know where you live. I don't know where you're at. But it affected everyone on this planet. Israel, especially Jerusalem, sits on one of the most powerful portals on earth. A place where the worlds meet, where light and shadow converge, and where what happens in spirit echoes into matter across the globe. I also did a video about Israel a few years back when I was there, explaining the energetic and the spiritual role of Israel in our world. So as I've shared since the October 7 massacre, and this was a massacre, yes, this is a battle of consciousness, not territory. The ritualistic violence, the bloodshed, the sacrifices, they are not accidental, okay? And this is the same happening, like I said, in Ukraine. This is the same happening in Syria. This is the same happening in Yemen. Things are happening in this fucking world that we need to open our eyes to. They are designed to anchor lower frequencies into the grid of the earth to block awakening and fuel the black river of black magic. When we speak about, Jewish people being chosen, it has nothing to do with superiority, race, or divine favoritism. That entire concept of being chosen has been twisted through the lens of ego, power, and religious control, especially for men. The truth is this: Jewish people were entrusted, okay? They're not better than anyone else. They were entrusted. Like I said, being Jewish is in your blood. You are born a Jew. You are born with specific codes in your blood, with a specific spiritual role for source, entrusted with one of the most difficult and painful missions on earth. Very, very heavy burden, let me tell you, if you actually know what it is. We were encoded through our blood memory with the responsibility of holding the codes of light, the codes of truth. It is a sacred lineage, not of entitlement, not of religion, but of burden, of a responsibility. And just as the Jewish people were chosen to hold the codes of truth, other lineages were also chosen. I will give you an example. The bloodlines of Black people, people with dark skin, and indigenous people were chosen to hold the codes of earth magic. So people with dark skin, what we call Black people, are supposed to hold the codes of magic. And look what happened. Okay, these are the two most important roles that tribes have received. The Jewish people, the codes of truth. the black people, the codes of magic. And look what has been happening in our history to these two tribes. Demonized, enslaved, humiliated, distorted. Look at what has been happening. Why? Because these tribes are vital for the awakening of humanity. And the dark forces do not want these tribes to succeed in their role. So they want to keep them small, keep them in pain and suffering and trauma, in all, like in this cycle of trauma, because they really cannot kill it. See, the darkness can never actually kill the light. That's why even after World War II and everything that happened, the Jewish people are still here. I'm still here. We're all still here. Why? Because you cannot actually kill the light. After everything you've done to the black people, the slavery and the torture and the evil, they're still here because you cannot kill the fucking light. Okay? So once these tribes, and once we remember who we are, I give you another example if you want. The Maoris, the tribe of New Zealand, the way that the sisters have explained to me is that these specific people are meant to hold the codes, and there is not really a specific word in our human language. They spoke to me in the temple language, specifically the codes of the purest kind of energy of divine masculine, but more so the warrior, the loving warrior, that energy I always speak of, that warrior that protects, that warrior that is honorable. That's the codes that the Maori people are holding deep down in their blood. I mean, these people are incredible. I have felt the energy from their blood and their ancestors and their lineage. They're fucking incredible. So truly honor you if you're a Maori. So so the bloodlines of so let's get back to a thing. So being chosen, it's not about being above other people or better than other people. It's about being entrusted to serve and have a responsibility. Now, there's a truth that echoes through fantasy and fiction as well, because sometimes the deepest sisterhood, the deepest remembering comes through story. All right. So in there's a TV show called it's on Amazon. I don't have a TV, but it's on Amazon. It's called The Wheel of Time. It's not my favorite TV show, but I've watched a few episodes. There is a few symbols that I really love in that show. Not all of it. So we see Aes Sedai. It's a sacred sisterhood of priestesses who can channel divine power. But there is something crucial woven into their story. This power can only be held by women. And not because women are better, but because the female vessel, the womb, the blood, the cycles are aligned with the deeper rhythms of the cosmos. And the feminine body was built to hold divine current without being consumed by it, right? So there was a time when the priestesses led, and when we held the codes of creation, of light, of healing, of prophecy, of sex magic, we were the bridges between worlds. We bled with the moon and opened portals with our voices and bodies. We served the balance. But then the dark sorceress came, the warlocks, the kings, the hungry ones, right, who created this reality that we're living in right now. They were intoxicated by the power of the priestesses. So these men were jealous of the power that the priestesses hold, also responsibility that the priestesses hold. They didn't look at the responsibility, they just looked at the power. And let's face it, the reason that mostly that the dark masculine has been destroying and hurting the feminine throughout history is because it's been jealous, and it's because it wanted to harness her power and it was afraid of her. So it wanted to own it, control it, and steal it and manipulate it. So they destroyed a temple, burned the scrolls, demonized the womb, demonized the woman, made her into a bad witch, burned her at the stake years later, right? This turned the woman into a serpent of sin in religion. Like all of these symbolism, all of these distortion of truth, ripped the codes of creation from the feminine and tried to implant them into a system of domination. But this is false. The masculine cannot actually hold, men cannot actually hold these codes. They physically, in their body, in their energy body, cannot hold these codes. So they just created a very false reality for us. But here's the truth. When a man takes power and that isn't integrated through the feminine, it makes him mad. And this is like what they say in the show too, which is, this is the truth. It makes him mad. It twists him into something unnatural. it connects him with the dark forces within himself, his own inner demons, and also external demonic entities. So he's severed from source, basically. When humanity truly evolves, brothers and sisters, when we rise into our highest, most divine potential, we no longer need temples of stones, priests in robes, or permission from the outside, from outside ourselves. Because we remember, we are the temples. Each one of us, a sacred vessel, a living altar where spirit meets flesh, where the Divine Mother breathes through us. The original priestesses knew this. They were not gatekeepers, they were guides. Their sacred duty was not to mediate between human and God, like religious, like BS leaders today, but to awaken the God within, to awaken source within you, the mother within you, to return each soul to its original code, to restore each body to its divine architecture. But to do this, they led people back to the womb, the place of all beginnings, the sacredness, not just the physical womb, but the cosmic one, the source, which I call the Divine Mother. And again, this is the temple that I bring my information from with all my books and everything that I've been teaching all these years. So when you read my book, that's why a lot of people say, when I read your book, Luna, I feel something, because these books are encoded with the temple, especially Sex Magic Evolution, Symbols of Sex Magic, The Last Priestess, and the Sex Priestess Manual. Now, this disconnection from the womb is not accidental. It was engineered because the womb holds the gate to remembrance. Once we return to the mother, once we return to the womb, we return to ourselves, because we all come from the womb, remember? It is the seat of creation, intuition, and power. To control humanity, they had to cut us off from the source, from her, from ourselves. And this is, again, another small symbolism, but what we're doing when a child is born, when you take it to the hospital, they cut the umbilical cord right away without giving, they want to cut us off from source, from the mother, in the most unhealthy, unnatural ways. Now, going back to the idea of veganism for a second, it's not, like I said, it's not a diet. It is a spiritual rebellion. When we purify the temple, our physical body, this body, when we stop consuming death and start vibrating with life, our sexual energy becomes luminous, clean, and cosmic. This is sex magic in its purest form. This is why I started this school. And this is why for 400 videos that I've been talking for all these years, I always mention, even when I talk about sex, I always mention stop eating animals, because real sex magic, and a lot of, there's a lot of women who started to, after I started to talk about sex priestesses and sex magic, they started doing their own YouTube videos and copy a lot of my stuff, but they distorted it because no one talks about this. I talk about I'm the only one who's talking about the real shit. And I'm not liked for it. I don't have 1 million followers because of it. And I'm very happy for that, by the way. So I remember I asked, when I started this channel, I asked the priestesses, please I don't want a lot of followers. I remember when I said, even before Instagram even came up, that was before Instagram. So, because I want only the people who actually feel and hear this message to find me. Because I'm not a person who's going to fluff things up, and, I have no patience for bullshit, basically. So, this is what sex magic is. You cannot create sex magic in a sacred union. All right. And if you want to follow people who teach you about tantra and sacred sexuality, but they still eat meat, or they talk about, it's okay to we're in an open relationship and fucking everyone because this is sacred. No, it's not. I am totally fine. There's nothing wrong with having an open relationship and wanting to fuck everyone. If that's your part, I'm supporting you all for that. But don't call yourself a spiritual teacher and call it sacred and have many followers following you because you look cool on social media. We need more actual sacred unions in the world. And when you have a platform, you have responsibility. So don't spread bullshit. I have a lot of respect for people who speak the truth. Again, if you're I'm in an open relationship, I just want to fuck people, I salute you. Go for it. Don't call it sacred. Do not call it sacred, because it's not sacred. It's just your path, and it's great, but it's not sacred. Now, so sex magic in its purest form, it's not just lust fused with violence, but it's creation rooted in reverence. We become the living altar when we take care of our physical vessel. We offer pleasure, not pain. We love not to take, but to merge and awaken and expand our souls. The evolution of humanity is not in new technologies, but in ancient truths remembered. The era of sacrifice is over. Now is the era of sacred union, within, without, and with all living beings, including animals. They don't fear our rituals, the dark forces. They fear our ecstasy and our true liberation. They fear our sovereignty, because true sex magic collapses the matrix, the false matrix. And love, real, raw, embodied love, is the revolution. Now, I want to close this video. So this is not an Instagram aesthetic video, okay? This is not going to get a lot of listeners, and I'm totally fine with it. I only hope to get the right listeners. This is not a TikTok trend. Sex magic is not a TikTok trend. Being a priestess is not about flowing dresses and photo shoots under the moon. These are fun, but that's not about it. It is a soul mission. Calling yourself a sex priestess is a soul fucking mission. Calling yourself a light worker is a soul mission. A vow you made before you enter this body to protect the codes, to speak the truth, to stand at the gates between worlds when others run. If you're remembering now, it's because the world needs you. Not polished, not perfect, but real, rising again through your blood, your voice, your fire. The priestesses are rising again, not to rule, but to restore. The feminine doesn't want to dominate the masculine. She wants to heal him. She wants to unite with him. She wants to feel devotion for him. She wants to help him hold his power in alignment. She wants to awaken him back to truth. But she cannot give him her codes while he is still trying to conquer her, to control her, to manipulate her, to use her. There must be reverence. There must be restoration of sacredness. To every soul listening to this, you carry codes. You carry keys. Your vibration is important. Your liberation is your activation. Your remembrance is rebellion. Your joy is absolute revolution. The temple is being rebuilt through you. Welcome back, priestess. Welcome back, brother. Welcome back, warriors of light. The real war is for consciousness, and we are winning because we are liberating our consciousness. I love you all so much. Those of you who listened all the way, I absolutely love you, and I'm grateful for you, for your courage, for your openness, for your willingness to walk through the shadows of humanity, not just a fluffy fake light. So check out, there's a free ebook on my website if you sign in, so you can stay in touch with me in case one day my YouTube channel falls apart. I don't know. And check out my books. And I have also, so I want to also share, those of you who read my books, again, you know that they're coded with specific energy. And so I wanted to share this, this experience with people. So I am starting something called the Spirit Book. And we are going to start, it's an 8-week program with me, live program with me. And I'm going to guide you through writing your book, writing the spirit book that wants to be birthed through you. This is not just a writing program. This is a journey that we're going to take together. We're gonna use rituals and magic and activating your own life force and your own remembrance and connecting you to your own source so that you can write this book from your spirit. And so it's going to be 8 weeks. The original price is going to be like around $2,000 and $2,500. But because this is the first year I'm doing this, I am giving it away for an incredible price. You get to work with me for 8 weeks, only $555. Yes, you heard that correctly. And so I just have this. I really want to share this, and I'm craving to share this. So I just want as many people that I can to sign up. And by the way, the money that I'm going to make from this, it's going to go to a special project I'm working on. We're going to create a special land, and it's going to be an animal sanctuary and also a very sacred place to create ritual and help people, especially women who have been through sexual trauma. It's going to be a lot of wonderful things on that land. So again, I'm just trying to make the best with what I have, and I'm asking for your support, and I want to give you so much gold for it. I have so much gold I want to share with people. So we're going to start on November 1st. Well, I'm not sure exactly the exact date, but beginning of November, we're going to start for 8 weeks. And then those of you who want to do an extra thing, you can come to a private villa with me in Mexico. It's only has 9 rooms, so only 9 people can make it, unless you're a couple and you want to come together. And we're going to actually take that book that we've been working on for 8 weeks. We're going to make some actual psychedelic magic rituals to activate that book, to seal it with magic, and to have a blood magic. We're going to also use blood magic, but this is going to be a living blood magic. So it's going to be blood given freely from you, not taken forcefully. So this is going to be exactly the opposite of inverted magic. This is going to be the purest light, love magic that we're going to create to birth this book that's living in your soul that you really want to, you want to birth it. You feel like you want to birth it. So if you're ready, we are going to start November for 8 weeks. And then we're going to meet in Mexico in January in a private villa with me. And we're going to have some fun and white magic and activations. So only $555. Sign up, get your spot. Very limited spots. I'm working with very small groups. I don't have thousands of people, on my groups and stuff. So I like to work with small groups. So I can work also with one-on-one with you and help you and guide you. And thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. I honor you. And I wish all of us to awaken to truth and to return back to the womb of the mother. Thank you so much. I'm Luna Ora, and I will see you soon. The medicine of truth is within you. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you to the Great Mother, source of all life and love. This is Luna Ora, your sex priestess and psychedelic witch. Until next time, walk in truth, walk in beauty, stay devoted to your magic, and remember, you are sacred. Stay free.